I see you roll your way into the semis. Liam and me, we're gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
A fantastic way to kick off the triple header at Paul Ricard, and the next round in Austria is approaching fast. The categories are going to be a little different than the usual. For Austria we have Q2 knockout, fastest pit stop and fastest lap, and the race top 5. While the podium is determined by voting on Twitter, including some other content creators. So stay tuned till the end to see what your predictions are. You can also participate in future polls by following Raceforce1 on Twitter. So let's get started. George Russell made it to Q2 in every qualifying session this year. In fact, he holds the record for reaching Q2 the most number of times and being knocked out in all 7 races. We have grown familiar to seeing Mr. Saturday in the second half of qualifying. Russell's next goal is to qualify for Q3 for the first time in a Williams, and looks like he is on the verge of doing so. Can he, however, make it to Q3 in Austria? Perhaps not yet. Following the season's early problems, Antonio Giovinazzi made 3 consecutive Q2 appearances until Baku, where he could have been able to make it to Q3 if it hadn't been for the crash in Q1 at turn 15. While in France, Giovinazzi was back in business with another Q2 finish. He has outqualified his much more experienced teammate 5 times this year and has progressed to Q3 in Monaco. Kimi Raikkonen is the only non-Haas or Williams driver who has failed to reach Q3 this season. In Austria, Giovinazzi may make it to Q2, but will get eliminated at this stage. After a podium finish at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, Vettel was caught up in typical squabbles at Paul Ricard, but he didn't seem concerned by Aston Martin's apparent lack of pace in practice and qualifying, as he was able to extract a strong performance on the race day with some amazing time management. The Aston Martin may not be fast enough on the high-speed A1 ring to reach Q3, which could see both Sebastian Vettel and Lance Stroll get eliminated in Q2. Fernando Alonso appeared in Q3 4 times this season, while he got eliminated in Q2 twice and once in Q1. The battle between Ocon and Alonso is shaping up to be a thrilling contest, as the Frenchman leads qualifying 4-3. For Austria, both Yuki Tsunoda and Esteban Ocon are expected to make it to Q3, leaving Alonso out of the top 10. When it comes to pit stops, Red Bull is by far the team to beat. In every race, Mercedes loses a substantial amount of time in the pits. We have just seen this in the French Grand Prix. Aston Martin, Williams and Alfa Romeo are the only 3 teams that can compete with Red Bull when it comes to pit stops. Red Bull pulled off the top 5 fastest pit stops in 2021 season so far, and 3 of them have been sub 2 second stops in Bahrain, Portugal and Baku. They should be able to pull off the fastest stop in Austria once more. The winning driver could not post the fastest lap of the race this season until Max Verstappen broke that trend in the French Grand Prix. I'm sure you understand why. The driver behind is able to change to newer tyres and set the quickest lap time. Obviously, that's possible if they have a large enough gap. Verstappen, Hamilton and Bottas are the only drivers to have set fastest laps this season. I believe Bottas will post the fastest time on race day in Austria. While there is a chance of rain, both Hamilton and Verstappen are brilliant drivers in the wet. If it rains, Checo and Valtteri may be out of place on a wet track, as they are not as comfortable as their teammates in wet weather. The potential top 5 are Perez, Norris, Bottas, Verstappen and Hamilton. Unlike general assumptions, the race at Paul Ricard was not decided until the penultimate lap, as Verstappen passed Hamilton to win the French Grand Prix and increase his lead to 12 points, which includes a bonus point for the fastest lap. It's the first time a race winner has set the fastest time in 2021. Verstappen's victory in France highlights many of the key factors I outlined in the video why Max will beat Lewis. Red Bull operated together as a team. They moved quickly to implement an alternative strategy. With an undercut and a quick pit stop, they took the race lead. Max was able to maintain his composure after losing the lead at turn 2. and while chasing and overtaking both the Mercedes cars. He was also able to defend well after inheriting the lead following the first stop. And will he be able to keep his winning run in Austria? While Hamilton took the race lead after the first corner, as Max went too deep at the start, Mercedes continued to have a stronger car on race day, and Lewis is incredible, pushing it to its limits and yet maintaining the tyre performance. Mercedes and Hamilton didn't have to fight for race victories in a long time. The season is long and will go to the wire. Lewis in particular will not accept a second place finish in the championship, as he seeks a record-breaking 8th crown. It will be a fascinating battle at the A1 ring, so guys, prepare for the fireworks on race day. Now it's time for the podium to be revealed. Based on your votes, it's Verstappen, Hamilton and Perez. Let's see how close this will be on race day. Thanks for watching, and I'll meet you in the next one.